YoVC, what's up? Bob here.
Jeffrey Lee Puckett here.
Today we have decided to make a little video for you guys about vinyl accessories. This is the accessories episode. We're going to get into some stuff that might seem like no-brainers to some of the longtime vinyl enthusiasts, but to some people just getting into it or getting more serious about it, some of these things might not be so familiar to you. I do know that the number one question that is asked on the channel, almost every video, what type of outer sleeves do you use?
Oh, I thought it was going to be Bob, are you single?
No.
Outer sleeves, inner sleeves.
Outer sleeves, inner sleeves, sleeves. That's right. Crystal clear for me.
Can't have too many of them, as it turns out.
That's correct.
Because the problem is, or the good thing is, you keep buying records. The more records you buy, the more sleeves you need.
That's it. I was using a sleeve, a crystal clear sleeve, 3mm, resealable with the flap. I got them off Amazon. I told so many people about those sleeves. They are no longer available. And I'm sure it wasn't just me. Now I'm using the 5mm Sleeve City sleeve, crystal clear, no flap, not resealable. Jeffrey Lee, what are you using?
I have settled on, well, I've used a lot over the years.
Of course.
I've settled on a company on Amazon. That's where I found them. I'm sure they have other places called Invest in Vinyl. They make their own versions of the MoFi sleeve, slightly less luxurious.
Yes.
But far more inexpensive, and I think they're plenty nice enough to do their job, you know. And they also make these nice 12.75. I like a little bit of room, a little bit extra room. And unlike Bob, I'm okay with slightly murky.
Cloudy.
I do get the appeal, though, of the clear ones because they make your records pop. But most of my, well, not most. Well, yeah, most of my records are stuff on a shelf, so no one can see them pop or not. So I'm going to go with the murky is also cheap from Invest in Vinyl. They sell combo packs, which I love. You get 51, 50 the other.
Oh.
Good to go. Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Okay. So, yeah, sleeves. I, of course, use MoFi inner sleeves. I do sometimes use the Invest in Vinyl. I try different ones from time to time. I always tend to go back with the MoFi.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Which
are fairly cheap, by the way. Maybe a quarter or less a piece, right?
Yeah, I'm really penny pinching. I think Invest in Vinyl sleeves are $2 less.
$2 less. 20 instead of 22. Okay, next we're going to get into brushes in particular. I use the AudioQuest brush. This is Jeffrey Lee Puckett's.
Yes, this is a go-to. They're durable. This one is one of the new generation of they're better at getting rid of static. That's a big problem in my house. And along with this, I start with this, which is a Sleeve City product. It has the greatest name ever, Thunderon.
The Thunderon.
And it's some sort of composite material. And what it is, it's anti-static. That's its job. And you have to hold the record. You know, I always press it against my torso because you never know the record's going to flip off. And you just do a couple of swipes. Boom. And then you put the record on, and then you use AudioQuest. That combination has negated all of my static issues in a very time-condensed way. Because I've used stuff in the past that worked, but it just took what felt like forever. And this is a couple of sweeps, and you're done.
$30.
$32. It seems expensive to me.
Yes, I also have the Thunderon brush, and it's good. It's very good. I use it quite a bit, and I'm pretty happy with it. I use for stylus cleaning, I use the Groove Washer brush and proprietary liquid, whatever it is. But the Groove Washer brush looks like a little makeup brush. I will insert some photos of it. So you're cleaning the stylus with what?
I always start with a very tiny swipe of this MoFi LP9. It's liquid. It's not corrosive. There's a lot of stories on the internet of people using wet cleaner and their stylus falling off at some point. It might happen if you use a poor quality liquid cleaner that's mostly alcohol and also have a certain brand of stylus that tends to dissolve.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Rhymes with?
Rhymes with Ortofon.
Oh, rhymes with, oh. God.
It's not a manufacturing problem. It's just that.
That's how it's attached.
And yeah, and they say, you know, don't use these. But this, I don't do it real heavy. I just get the brush damp. And I go over it, and then immediately I dip it into this Audio-Technica. It looks like hair paste. It's gray. It's the kind of, you just dip your stylus into it, and Then if it gets too cluttered up with debris or whatever, you just wash it off under the tap water, and it's right back to 100%.
Okay.
It's AT617A, and this I use because it was sent to me for review purposes, and I immediately love it because it's tacky. It's pretty tacky, but it's not as tacky as blue tack.
Right.
So to me, it's the perfect thing for pulling just random stuff off. But I don't know how much that costs, but I bet it's at least $35 or $40, which is why I also recommend Moon Gel. It is these little pads that are put on drum heads.
That's correct.
To give them, I guess it's called resonance.
Yeah,
dampening.
Sound. Yeah.
So they're dampening pads, but they're made out of this non-toxic gel that also cleans up with tap water. And you can just stick it to an old credit card. You can stick it to one of the nicer, stiffer baseball cards, and you just dip your stylus into it, and stuff pulls right out. $8 for 6 of these. 6 of these, unless you lose them, like I consistently do, should theoretically last you for the rest of your life for $8. So yeah.
All right.
That.
Well, let's get into some of the more expensive vinyl accessories that you could have, right? Starting with this dude. We've showed this before. This is the Milty Zero Stat. You know, this device goes all the way back to the...
Watch your trigger finger there, Hoss.
It goes all the way back. As long as people have been record collecting, there's some kind of little ray gun that people have been shooting at their records that is supposed to remove static. The Milty is not inexpensive. It's
busted 100 now.
Yeah, it's over $100. So, you know, people have different opinions about it. Jeffrey Lee tends to believe that it works.
Yeah, I've run all the little tests you see where, you know, you've got something stuck to a book cover or whatever, and then you squirt it and it falls right off.
Mm-hmm.
I know it takes care of static, but it's a very time-consuming, to me, process. Lots of slow squeezing. To do it perfectly, you have to go so slow that it doesn't make that noise. Even though if it makes that noise, it's still doing a job. It's just not doing quite as good a job. And so I would try to use it in the 100% best way possible, and it felt like it took forever. So that's why I replaced it with the Thunderon, because I get equally good results with it.
Thunderon.
But it's so much faster. But the Milty works, and it's cool looking.
That's true. So recently, Michael Fremer from Analog Planet, you might have heard of that guy before, did a review on a light from the Reliable company called the Uberlight Flex, I believe is what it's called.
Uberlight? Yeah.
The Uberlight Flex.
Uberlight Flex.
Flex. Me and Jeffrey Lee saw that review. And then I was contacted by Robert Kahn, who watches Vinyl Community videos, turns out. And I got to talking to Robert, and the next thing you know, he sent us 2 of the lights to try out. Robert's idea for the light is that it's going to be over your turntable.
Right.
It has 3 different light temperatures, we'll say, and 3 different levels of brightness.
For each temperature.
Right. And it's pretty good. Mine, it's $50, and it has like a clamp on one end, and it's got this big flexible neck on it. You can situate it right over your turntable or whatever. I'm really fussy about the aesthetics of my rig, which I'm sure many of you are. So I move mine around quite a bit, but I've mostly been using it cleaning.
I can see that really working well.
I just clamp it onto my desk right above my record doctor and just turn it on bright and just go to work. And it works really well. You can see all the dust and stuff. It's really actually been a pretty good light. I've noticed that yours is right here behind us.
Yes, I use mine, I guess, as Mr. Kahn intended.
Yeah.
And I've tried a lot of, I guess, probably more affordable versions of this idea that you clamp onto whatever, stand you're using. And maybe I just cheaped out on those, which is my go-to move. But none of them ever worked. The clamps were always cheap. I always felt like that they were just going to randomly fall off.
Right.
The clamp on this Uberlight is pretty massive. I've got it stuck where I played around with a few positions, and now it is doing everything I've ever wanted from one of these lights.
I would recommend it without hesitation.
Yeah, I use the ultra warm temperature just for romantic ambient lighting when I sit alone watching TV. And but I've used the ultra bright for all kinds of stuff. It's a pretty handy light.
That's it. I think it has the aesthetics of like an Apple products charging cable.
Yeah.
So if if you're okay with that, then you'll probably be okay with it in your rig somewhere. Anyway, please like, subscribe, tell a friend, leave a comment down below. Until we meet again, Bob out.
Jeffrey Lee out.